York to the world. Subscribe now to the Hot 97 YouTube channel. It's Ebro in the Morning with Laura Stiles and Rosenberg.
An ambassador to the great nation of Ghana, Boris Kodjoe. What's popping, baby?
What up, Boris?
How are you guys?
Hi.
We're great. Are you on set right now? Where you at?
I'm in the green room of the Tamron Hall show.
Oh, she's a great guy.
Oh, nice.
Tell Tamron we say hello. We love Tamron. She's phenomenal.
I will. I'll tell her. Yes. Early morning in New York. I just flew in last night.
Well, thanks for taking time to come on, man. Let's talk about it's Station 19, right?
Station 19, season 5, tonight.
You can tune in and you can see our friend Boris Kodjoe, sometimes partially shirtless, glistening after saving a family from a life-threatening fire situation.
All these shirtless, glistening projections that I get, it's crazy. I haven't taken my shirt off since the late 80s.
Oh, okay.
Is that true?
Then it's just this must be my own fantasy in my own mind. I'm living vicariously through you.
That's your own thing, but it's all right. It's okay.
Hey, Boris, let me ask you a question. Sex symbol to sex symbol.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
No, seriously though, like we always think about that it's tough in American society for women as they age. Our society is not very nice to women once they get to a certain age. Is it ever surprisingly, do you ever go through any difficulties yourself? You're now in your late 40s. You've been considered this sex symbol for so long. Is there any part of it that's hard, or you just feel like the older you get, the more people want you?
I don't mind aging. I love aging. I think it's like you have worked for and you deserve every single candle on that cake, right? Because with age comes experience. As you sort of walk your journey, I've learned so much, these past 20 years. Being in the industry and then getting married, becoming a father. There's so much there. So I feel every stage of my life that is something that I worked for and that I deserve. Now, in terms of the whole sex symbol thing, I've never taken that seriously 1 minute in my life. That's always been sort of projected onto me. It's not something that I grew up with. It's not something that my mother placed any importance on. It was all about.
Oh, and by the way, for the audience, moms don't play. She'll go upside his head right now.
Yeah, you know her. You know how she
I
rolls.
seen it.
That's right. She doesn't play. And so that never really came up until I came to the States when I was 19. I got attention for that, but it never really fazed me in any way, good or bad. You know what I mean? So,
but real talk, growing up, even before you were famous, I have to imagine that you received in dealing with women perhaps different treatment than those of us on the more average side get. Like, did you at least ever have that sense that when you interact with people, they're really nice to you? Because it's just something I think is interesting because we always project that onto beautiful women. Like, wow, you get treated a certain way, whether it's good or bad or frankly annoying. But I would just wonder if you've had a similar experience.
Growing up in Germany, I stuck out, right? Because of my skin. So that was number one. So maybe, you know what? Maybe I misconstrued the whole thing. Maybe it was all about my beauty and not about
these Germans eyeballing you all weird. You thought they were racist. They just wanted to do you.
Oh, man. No, it all makes sense. Nah. This was all, growing up in Germany as the only black kid anywhere. I received a lot of attention, but it was all for the wrong reasons. And so I had to deal with that. Certainly microaggressions every day, not just macroaggressions, you know what I mean? And my brother and myself, Ebro knows Patrick really well too. And so growing up, it was never about that, if you believe it or not. It was never about the way that we looked. It was all about trying to survive the onslaught of just, bullying and kids just being mean and people saying stupid stuff and being ignorant and making life hard, on the daily. again, and once I got to the States, it sort of shifted a little bit because black people, that's its own culture here in the States. In Germany, we are a true minority. Here it's almost like there's two separate societies, if you will. So uh, I enjoyed the anonymity, right, to sort of be one of many. um, and then the whole handsome thing, you know I noticed it, but again, it's a mindset. We don't focus on celebrities and all that stuff at home in Germany, so it's very different here. So you got to imagine it being very different.
Well, you also spent a significant time of your youth in Africa too. Your moms would make sure you went down and learned your dad's culture too. How was that experience being young, going to Africa and spending time in Ghana?
I mean, how it is when you get off that plane. It's a whole different world there. It's different scent. There's different culture, people, food, music. Um, I loved it. Every minute of it, I loved it. Again, anonymity was big for me, just to be able to be one of the kids there. Every once in a while, we got some shade because if we were lighter than the other kids, half caste. But um, just to reconnect with ancestry and to feel that connection, to feel your roots, to feel the heritage, to understand the lineage and how deep it goes and how far back it goes, thousands and thousands and thousands of years, um, is something that as a kid I couldn't verbalize it, but I definitely felt it. And that's what makes what we did these past couple of years, you were a part of it, um, so special, because it's a transformative experience, not
Yeah.
just when you're a kid. And when you have a chance to go back and to feel, to literally on a cellular level, to feel your ancestry and your roots, it grounds you. It solidifies your identity, which especially for African Americans has been a challenge, these past, 300 years, 400 years, because they were robbed of it. And to sort of feel that click in to place again, and to understand that there is people that came before you who have passed on to you their DNA, their culture. It empowers you tremendously. It gives you real purpose, um, beyond what we've experienced here. So it's a great thing.
There's in hearing you talk about your childhood, and even hearing you talk about how you've processed being you, right? And there's, I know you and Nicole well enough, and your brother and his wife, and I've met your mom. There's a true family, very simple, not a lot of clutter, not a lot of production around, and how you guys move.
Yeah.
Has that helped? Kind of helped your relationship thrive with your wife? Because not that you guys don't have challenges. All relationships have challenges, but you guys have really, really. I watched you guys celebrate a trip this year on your Instagram. I think you guys were somewhere in Italy or something like that, having a great time. And but it's just always great to see you guys continuing to thrive, see your children thrive. But talk about both of you all being celebrities, but living a very regular life, and how you maintain that.
I think celebrities live a regular life. It's just what we project onto them that sort of makes it appear differently. We all have to scramble eggs and do homework with our kids. And you're right. Nicole and I, the way you put it actually is perfect. We try to live clutter free. And again, we focus on things that we love, that are important to us, our children, obviously. Those two are our priority. And the trip that you alluded to this summer in Europe was Nicole's idea, because over dinner with Sophie, our 16-year-old, we discovered that her friends hadn't left the country. They hadn't been out the country ever. They hadn't gotten passports. So they never left really LA. So she took her and her four best friends, and She traveled through 5 countries in Europe in 2.5 weeks. She went from the south of France and Antibes to Barcelona, Rome, Venice, Paris, and then went to Amsterdam and blew their minds, right? I mean, just the stuff
And you
that they
guys
saw.
you guys were the chaperones?
Her and her friend, my wife's friend, Cassie, they took these teenagers and went off 2.5 weeks. I was in the south of France with my son, who was in the tennis academy, and I was editing the movie that I had shot here in the States. So I met them later on in Germany. But yeah, they did it, and again, travel is one of those things that I consider to be luxury, but also a necessity. Right? It teaches so much. It also allows you to get to know a person in a whole different way. That's why I always tell my friends. I said, look, if you start dating somebody, take them on a trip, because you will quickly find out who they are. We always love traveling. Go ahead.
Now, in addition to you and I having our looks in common, we we also
on this.
No,
we
seriously,
also
when the camera came on, I thought it was a mirror for a second. I was like,
right.
what?
You thought it was like, because watch here. I'll do it for the people here. Look how similar this is. Boom, Boris, and there's
Yes, sir.
Rosenberg.
Yeah, it's
Boris,
crazy.
Rosenberg. It's very. I know it's hard to tell, but it's not only because we look alike, but we also have similar heritage. You do have your grandmother is Jewish, correct?
Yes, my grandmother she passed, but my grandmother was not of pure Aryan blood. Let's put it that way. I think she was half or a quarter Jewish. Yes.
Do you is Judaism of any relevance in your family, or is it just sort of a story? And I don't know if this is true. It says that she was lost in the Holocaust.
No, that's not true. That was Wikipedia. Yeah, I think somebody added that.
Why would someone add that?
Yeah. It's strange, really strange.
So, but is her Judaism existing in your bloodline thing, or is it just sort of something you guys talk
it's
about?
existing in the bloodline because it goes through the maternal side of my mother, and to me, I guess it ends with me, if you will. But we grew up going to church, and my mother taught us about not just our mixed heritage, but also she taught us about everything. Judaism. She taught us about Islam. She taught us about the Catholic Church, about Methodist Church. She taught us about everything. She wanted us to have a well-rounded sort of view about what not just religion meant, but spirituality. So we were raised, I would say, spiritual in nature. And I remember I don't remember. She reminds me of a conversation that we had when I was, I think, 5 or so, 6, and I asked her what religion was, and she told me it was like a doctor. And I said, doctor? And she said, yeah, there's so many different doctors, but they have one purpose. To make you feel better. So that sort of stuck with me, and to this day, I believe that all religions have the same purpose. The religions are there to uplift, to empower, to heal, to nourish, to instill hope, and all these wars and these differences, all this conflict that we have created through religion is really counterproductive to what the true nature of religion really was supposed to do for us as humans.
You won't get all of this on Station 19. This is only for Ebro, Laura, and Rosenberg. But we have Boris Kodjoe with us today. Will you be back in Ghana with all? We weren't able to travel to Ghana the last 2 Decembers because of COVID. I wasn't anyway. I don't know if you did. But this year I plan to go. The Fugees are doing a show in Accra. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah.
The Fugees are doing a reunion show in Accra December 18. I'm planning on going to that. But as far as Full Circle and us taking, being able to take people back and do that, has that opened up with the Ghanaian Board of Tourism yet?
I think Full Circle Festival will continue, and it would also expand to the entire continent, because obviously Accra is my place. It's where my father's from. the people that I consider family and friends, and President Nana Akufo-Addo is a good friend, and he's done an amazing job in the aftermath of Full Circle and the return to continue to invite members of the diaspora to come and to explore all these economic development opportunities that are out there. But I think it's important to note that there's so many historic sites across the continent. There's so many amazing countries and different cultures and people who speak different languages. And I think it's important for people to explore the entire continent, to understand that Africa is more than famine and war and unrest, and it's such a silly and ignorant narrative that especially Western media has sort of painted over these past decades. And I want people to go. I want people to experience life over there. And so many people are moving there now. And I remember that before Full Circle Festival, Ghana was issuing 80,000 visas a year. And after Full Circle, it was over 1.2 million. So people are flocking there now because they understand that it's a way to reconnect and to, again, like I said earlier, rediscover their true identity and understand that we come from survivors, not slaves, which is a very interesting distinction to make. It sets you up for life rather than puts weight on you in terms of being on survival mode your entire life.
Yeah, it's a different energy all the way around. How are you now going about now? BET's Real Husbands of Hollywood, it says, is coming back. Is that true?
It's incredible. Yeah, we hooked up last month. We shot for 6 weeks, 6 episodes.
So you're hanging out with Kevin Hart again? You guys are getting along?
Getting along is a strong word.
Okay, all right.
So annoying.
But who is back? Is Dwayne Martin back? Is JB Smooth back?
Everybody's back.
Okay.
We all came back, and it was like we never left. I mean, it was these are my brothers. That's family. I've known Kevin 22 years or something.
Nah.
So it was great. It was just amazing. I love these guys, and we always have a great time. That's an understatement, because when you're on set with JB Smooth, you can't keep it together. It's impossible. Kevin actually is the first who breaks. He breaks immediately. You can't.
He loves to laugh, right? That dude loves to laugh, man.
He loves to laugh, and he just doesn't stop laughing when JB Smooth on set. So that should be coming out anytime now. I don't know exactly when, but we did that. We finished that. I'm shooting Station 19 until April next year, so that's season 5. A lot of great stuff happening, and but I'll be back in New York. I'd love to come and see you guys in person. How long?
We gotta do the face-to-face in the studio. The virtual thing is getting played out for sure.
Thing is getting old. You know what I mean? It's
crazy. Safe Space on Lifetime. This is your directorial debut. I think you mentioned it earlier. Is that the movie you were editing while you were out in
exactly.
out this summer with your boy in south of France? Tell us about Safe Space on Lifetime.
Safe Space is a great movie. A script that came along about a widow who has a child, a son, a 14-year-old son with autism, and that son, who's on a spectrum, who loves to mess around with cameras and tech and gadgets, he witnesses a murder across the street. And these killers come after him and his mother. So it's sort of a home invasion movie, but not really, because it's really about a mother going from managing a situation with her son to getting to know her son. And it was such a tremendous honor to direct this movie. My wife is starring as the mother, and we found this incredible young actor named Nick Sanchez, who is an actor on the spectrum. And I fought to get him the part because I thought it was important to make a statement that represents a community that's huge here in the States and worldwide. There's millions of people who are affected by autism, and I was really, really touched and surprised by this young man who did such an incredible job, and how he grew throughout the shooting process as an actor, and how comfortable he got, and the relationships that he forged, and friends he made, and it was a really great experience. We do all these projects. You guys are involved in different projects that you do, whether it's on the screen or in radio, big screen, small screen. And I think sometimes we don't realize what they mean in our lives and to us until years later. And the pandemic, if the pandemic has taught me anything, it's I have to be more present in the moment. I have to be still. I have to enjoy the presence. And this movie is one of those projects that I think is going to have an impact on me for years to come. It was a great experience. It comes out.
Congratulations, man. Congratulations.
That's dope.
Now, for the audience watching.
Ebro, how's your little girl? How's she doing?
Well, she's 4'6" now.
Yeah, what do you mean by little?
When you say little, do you mean just young? Yeah, she's only 7.
What?
She's 7 years old, 4'6".
Dude,
97 pounds.
97 pounds.
Scary. You remember Nicholas, right?
Yeah. How tall is he now?
My son, he's 14 now. He's 6'4".
Gee, what? Yo.
Wow.
6'4".
That means he grew
Like
3-4 inches.
Yeah. Yeah. He's huge. He's a hooper, and he's my height now, and size 14.
That's crazy, right? Isn't that crazy?
It's crazy. Like every day, he comes in the kitchen. I'm like, dude, calm down.
Now, yo, you got to take him out. You got to take him out one day when he's in there making cereal. Sometimes you just got to knock the cereal bowl out of his hand.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Let him know it's real.
That's what I do. I push him in the shower, lock the door.
I know Nicole gets in his face like, Nicole gets in his face like, yo, don't think I won't.
She does every day. And we treat him like, livestock because they smell like livestock. Teenagers.
Oh, yeah,
so
that age now.
Gotta lock him in the shower. Make sure
they smell like wild buffalo.
It's insane. The hormones. Jesus Christ. I don't remember.
It's out of control. It's out of control.
You're like, why is there this man in my house?
It's out of control. It's like exactly what you said. It's like a young buffalo. It is disgusting.
Now, anybody watching this interview and you're looking, because we get these all the time where somebody will be like, what is Boris's skin regimen? What is he doing?
I get that too.
Rosenberg gets it all the time.
You guys get that all the time? The skin regimen?
No, I was saying, Boris, you get it, I'm sure, all the time. Rosenberg just started using lotion like a month ago. He's starting to.
Now, actually, Ebro's deflecting. He gets it a lot. A lot of people ask about your skin. I mean, Tyler, the creator, almost made out with you.
Oh, wow.
Oh, he loved the skin.
But Boris, it's
he got a lot of attention for his skin when he came with us to Ghana.
He did?
Oh, my God. Either they wanted to touch his beard or touch his
bald
beard.
Listen,
I'm telling the truth. I'm telling the truth. They wanted to know his teeth, how many teeth he had, because he had so many teeth in his mouth.
Oh, my God.
Is that true?
He's got like 600 teeth.
Yo, mad teeth, Ebro.
He got mad teeth in his mouth.
Yo, Ebro, you got mad teeth, son. Your mouth's full.
Mad teeth, yo.
Those Africans tripped over his teeth.
Yo, now, Boris, it's important for the audience to know, man, you don't drink alcohol. Never have.
Never have. Yeah. It's
like
just
you've never had a drink of alcohol.
I mean, I had a sip because people always try to prove to me that it's good. And I say, hey, I indulge you, but I've never really had a glass of anything.
And there was something else you told me. I mean,
look,
you don't
honestly,
you don't smoke weed, you don't smoke cigarettes, you don't smoke cigars, you don't drink alcohol.
I don't smoke that. The whole cigar thing is I'm totally against because it perpetuates an image that came from colonization, and now we've taken it on, and we think it represents
affluence or something.
Abundance and affluence and wealth, which is
cigars.
Yeah, cigars. It's so
wow,
stupid.
I didn't know that. I didn't know the history of cigars.
We took that from our colonizers, and we took it over. And there's a whole lot of things that we've taken over from our colonizers. We sort of rebranded it Like
Right.
the N word. The N word is another thing that we took.
That's a
that
rebrand.
we made it. We now act like it's cool and it's a term of endearment. Meanwhile, it puts us back 400 years. But that's a whole other conversation. But the skin thing, yeah, I never drank because when you're a teenager, when you're introduced to alcohol, you cannot tell me that when you were 13, 14-year old, you drank something, it tastes good. You cannot tell me that's the truth. So
Right.
And it tastes
No.
like shit.
so then you keep drinking because you want to be cool, but it tastes like shit, but you keep drinking, and after a while you get used to it, and that's when you start drinking. That period, I skipped that. I never understood the point of continuing something that was so disgusting, so I never drank.
But then at a certain point, Boris, it's got to be, for me, for example, I didn't have a sip of alcohol till I was in my 25, 26. And I think it was just life.
That's weird because at 25, your brain is fully developed.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when you started drinking?
That's when I gave it a shot, I think, because I think I had real sadness. And when I had real sadness, I was willing to be like, let me try something. And so I think it speaks to your overall health, mentally, emotionally, physically, that you were able to maintain that and never wanted any sort of mind-altering substance. Do you have anything that you're addicted to in any way?
I don't think I have an addictive personality. I don't think.
What about working out? What about working out?
Yeah, I love working out, but that's because to me, it has to do with my sanity, right? Mind, body, spirit, to me goes together. So if I don't work out, it has an impact on my spiritual well-being.
But are there ever moments when your wife is like, hey, honey, we got to do this. And you're like, no, I have to work out. And she's like, no, you can really skip today. You need to. And you can't because you need to.
She wins.
You can handle it. And you can handle it. You won't actually melt down. Okay.
But I mean, it really has an impact on my well-being if I don't work out for a week or two. I feel it. Also, the way I eat, I have to eat a certain way because I just feel better. I stopped eating meat 2 years ago, and it changed everything. It pulled the inflammation right out of my joints, and I feel much better. Digestion is much better. Overall health is much. I feel.
So you
strong.
don't eat any, no seafood, no chicken, no beef, nothing.
So you don't even have a sweet tooth?
No, I do ice cream.
Okay.
Ice cream. I love ice cream, but the problem is that I've become lactose intolerant, which poses a big issue for the family peace. So
now you smell like a wild buffalo.
So I had to transition to lactose free.
Yeah, that's cool.
Ice cream, which is not the same. You know what I mean?
But let me give you some suggestions because I eat non-dairy. I believe Ben and Jerry's makes the best non-dairy.
Oh, really? Okay.
Ben and Jerry's non-dairy is the best non-dairy.
Which flavor?
They
have Kaepernick's non-dairy.
Yeah, the Kaepernick is non-dairy,
yeah.
Which is really good. The brownie they have a peanut butter, something that's really good. The Cherry Garcia, as far as non-dairy, it's not as good as the regular Cherry Garcia, but it's damn good.
I've been looking for a great non-dairy sort of chocolate chip cookie dough type flavor.
They have a non-dairy chocolate chip cookie dough. I've never tried it, but
I gotta get that.
Yeah, I think they have a non-dairy chocolate chip cookie dough. But yeah, Ben and Jerry's has a good assortment of non-dairy. Interesting. Congratulations, man, on your health and your mental health. And your family life and your career, man. Listen, there's going to be people who watch this interview and they're going to be like, yo, man, Boris Kodjoe's on my goddamn nerves. He's a beautiful human being through and through. And I really dislike it. And I encourage those people to look in the mirror and not dislike Boris Kodjoe. Do not project your negativity on our friend Boris. No. Be mad at yourself, not Boris.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. And I'm not, look, we have issues, right? We all have issues. We all had childhood trauma that we had to deal with, and it came to haunt us later on in life. I'm no different. We have our issues in our relationship. There's challenges that we faced, and I think the key to a relationship like that, if you find your person, right? If you really find your person, which I found my person, Nicole's my person. When you find that person, I think you have to be stubborn. you have to refuse to give up. You know
Yo, is that Tamron making all that noise? Tell Tamron to
I told her
put her
to be
shit
quiet.
on hold, man.
She's not the crowd hyper, Ebro.
She's insisting on taping her show, so I don't know what the deal is. I'm gonna talk to her about that later. Yeah, you just have to refuse to walk away, right?
That's right.
You just got to give each other space to grow, to learn from your mistakes, and you got to refuse to walk away.
There it is. Boris Kodjoe, man. Love you, brother. I'll see you soon.
Love you too.
Take care, man.
Take care.
Send my
Come to
love
the
to the
studio
family.
next time.
Take care. All right. See you next time.
You too.
Peace, man.
All right. Peace.